Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today we present you 50 beautiful retro historical photos. We hope you will appreciate our work. Write your comment and click the subscribe button. Enjoy the show, and here we go. Tracy Elvick 1987 photo shoot in the billiard room. Washington, D.C. Roxy Stinson, figure in Teapot Dome scandal, has her fortune told, March 27, 24. Circa 1896. Ship's company USS Maine. 2 years before the battleship blew up and sank in Havana Harbor, killing most of the crew. San Francisco circa 1927. Graham Brothers truck with stake bed body. Washington, D.C. Billy Denham, September 5, 22. Competitive cyclist both motor and bi. New York, 1931. Citibank Farmers Trust Building, William Beaver Streets. Cross Architects. San Francisco circa 1941. Restaurant counter. And another shot of the Buckley Music System. Music box. June 7, 1943. Restaurant Soda, Fountain, Sausalito, California. San Francisco circa 1922. Simplex Public Library. Circa 1906. 4th Avenue, Louisville, Kentucky. August 2, 1899. Sloop Columbia, steel mast carried away. Montgomery County, Maryland, 1925. Fortune teller Glen Echo Park Company. Washington, D.C., 1919. The Brighton, 2123 California Street. Washington, D.C., circa 1919. Children's Hospital. August 1927. Winchester, Virginia. Boy on elephant. August 27, 1927. Raymond Ruddy, 15-year-old New York Athletic Club swimmer who won the race on the Potomac, with members of the victorious team. Jewett touring car. Somewhere in Northern California, sometime in 1922. August 1912. Roxbury, Massachusetts. Homework on tags. Home of Martin Gibbons, 268 Center Street. James 11 years old, Helen 9 years, and Mary 6 work on tags. San Francisco circa 1918. Peerless truck. On Sunday, December 24, 1967, the old Carmel Canning Company on Cannery Row caught fire and burned for more than 4 hours. Kodachrome slide taken by my dad while we were in Pacific Grove for the Christmas holiday. May 1937. Children from Chickasaw, Oklahoma, in a potato pickers camp near Shafter, California. November 1938. Migrant cotton pickers' children who live in a tent in the government camp instead of along the highway or in a ditched bank. Shafter Camp, California. November 1938. Home of rural rehabilitation client, Tulare County, California. They bought 20 acres of raw unimproved land with a first payment of $50, which was money saved out of relief budget. Loading steamer Chalmette during high water, March 23, 1903, New Orleans. New York circa 1910. The Curb Market, Broad Street. March 1943. Isleta, New Mexico. The Santa Fe Depot. Horizontal arms on pole indicate a red beard, that is, a message is to be picked up by the train crew. New York circa 1921. Frank Craven. Actor, director, playwright, producer, stage manager. Beautiful retro photo shoot by Rosa Domail, 1966. San Francisco circa 1919. Bus is all it says. 1902. Rima's Loco winning 5 miles event in 10:51 4-5, Grosse Pointe Track, Detroit. Wildwood, New Jersey, circa 1907. Hotel Seaside. June 1942. Greenbelt, Maryland. Sunbathers at the swimming pool. August 1943. Arden, New York. Rest period at Camp Gaylord White, where children are aided by the Methodist Camp Service. Washington, D.C., 1922. Children playing in sand. (1913). Witter-Vaught's family, Arkansas. Circa 1910. Rockefeller Building in Superior Avenue, Cleveland. Oh. San Francisco, circa 1928. Auburn Sedan. Alda, May 1921. The Australian soprano and frequent Caruso collaborator Frances Alda's shipboard in New York. December 1908. Newton, North Carolina. Catawba Cotton Mill, Duffer and Spooler. Circa 1927. Old Stone Bakery, Falmouth, Stafford County, Virginia. March 1943. Barstow, California. Railroad worker in the washroom of the reading room in the Santa Fe Yard. New York, circa 1921. Boris Anisfeld, the Russian-born painter and set designer. Somewhere in San Francisco, circa 1920. Oakland touring car. circa 1908. New Pennsylvania Union Station, Washington, D.C. New Orleans circa 1910. Maison Blanche, Canal Street. August 24, 1964. Atlantic City, New Jersey. View of delegates and stage with large pictures of John F. Kennedy, Harry Truman, Franklin D. Roosevelt and Lyndon B. Johnson with the slogan "Let us continue" at the 1964 Democratic National Convention. November 1942. New York. Nurse training. Hospital preparations for air raids involved the training of street accident units for increased efficiency. San Francisco circa 1920. Grant 6 touring cars after unloading. Bonus photo for you, a beautiful retro woman. Hottie Samantha Fox, 1985 photo shoot. Beautiful Teeny Cancino, hockey court photo shoot 1978. Jane Mansfield's beautiful 1959 photo shoot. August 1923. Washington, D.C. Dump story. Washington, D.C. Girls at Potomac Tidal Basin Bathing Beach Pavilion, May 28, 23. (1963). George Jenkins, founder of the Publix supermarket chain, with his family at their home in Lakeland, Florida. November 12, 1920. Washington, D.C. 14 persons injured in crash of 3 cars. Wreck at 9th and F streets when brakes fail to work endangers many others. Policemen leap to safety. More than 2,000 citizens delayed an hour in getting home. May 1921. Washington, D.C. Charles Seeger, a composer, is a brother of Alan Seeger, the war poet. His wife is a distinguished violinist. Washington, D.C., circa 1920. People's Drug Store, 15th Street, New York Avenue, NW. January 1943. Freight operations on the Indiana Harbor Belt Railroad between Chicago and Hammond, Indiana. Getting his waybills, conductor Cunningham telephones his yardmaster with the number of cars he has to handle and where the delivery is to be made. May 1943. Clinton, Iowa. Women wipers of the Chicago Northwestern cleaning one of the giant freight locomotives. San Francisco. Maxwell, 1919, is all it says here. (1963). George Jenkins, founder of the Publix supermarket chain, at store in Lakeland, Florida. Detroit circa 1899. Detroit NE from Chamber of Commerce. February 1943. Daytona Beach, Florida, street scene. November 1938. Shafter, California. During the cotton strike, the father, a striking picker, has left his wife and child in the car while he applies to the Farm Security Administration for an emergency food grant. September 26, 1922. Washington, D.C. Virginia Avenue Playgrounds. Circa 1904. Depot at Braidwood, Illinois. January 1937. Children of migrant citrus worker who lives in a rundown apartment house. The sink at the head of the stairs is the only running water in the house. Winter Haven, Florida. March 1936. One-room house on Collins Forest and Game Reservation between the Tennessee and Cumberland Rivers in Kentucky. May 1936. Sharecropper's family in Mississippi County, Missouri. Typical sharecropper shack with crop entirely surrounding house. New York, 1904. Goat carriages in Central Park. San Francisco circa 1920. Grand Touring Car. (1924) Washington, D.C. Rock Creek Park. Miss Catherine Wren and Norvell Munford. Washington, D.C., 1924. The latest in electric baseball scoreboards. George Coleman, inventor, is shown with the mechanism of the new scoreboard. February 1923. Miss Jacqueline Mansfield. Washington, D.C., circa 1940. Star Parking Plaza, 10th and East Streets, NW. This motor-age landmark with Art Deco. January 26, 1937. Fort Belvoir troops proceed to flood area. Washington, D.C., 1940. Daughters of the American Revolution reception. J. Edgar Hoover, Federal Bureau of Investigation Director, greets Mrs. Henry M. Robert Jr., President General of the DR. American model and beauty queen, June Cochran. Photo 1963. Atlantic City, New Jersey, circa 1905. A lifesaver on the lookout. Circa 1910 surf bathers, somewhere in New England. Circa 1906. Custom House and Post Office, Memphis, Tennessee. (1917) Torpedo Shop, Washington Navy Yard. November 1938. Family of rural rehabilitation client. Tulare County, California. Husband also works about 10 days a month outside the farm. Is 26 years old. Wife 22, 3 small children. Been in California 5 years. San Francisco, 1921. California Street east from Montgomery. November 1942. Babies Hospital, New York. Nurse training. Through classes in pediatrics, student nurses learn how the right toys can be almost as important as medicine and diet in getting a sick child well. Circa 1907. 4th Street, Cincinnati, Ohio. Cincinnati again circa 1907. 4th Street west from Maine. August 10th, 1952. Art Frandl and Stephen Lee, 10 months. December 1960. Interior barber shop. Republic Building, 209 South State Street, Chicago. Architects, Hollywood Roche. Completed 1905, demolished 1961. August 1942. And so he says to me, sailor mechanics at the Naval Air Base in Corpus Christi, Texas, laugh heartily over a good story between servicing operations on Navy planes. San Francisco, 1928. Auburn Phaeton sedan. San Francisco, 1928. Auburn Phaeton sedan. Minneapolis circa 1910. Hotel Radisson and 7th Street. April 1926. Washington, D.C. Ms. Louise Thorne of the National Academy of Sciences holding a plant growing in an airtight bulb. Washington, D.C., 1919. Police coffee. Washington, D.C., 1919. Police coffee. Washington, D.C. Tech High Football, 1919. November 16, 1923. Washington, D.C. Shura Cherkasky, Father Isaac, Mother Lydia. Bonus photo for you, a beautiful retro woman. Enchanting Natalie Bannis, 1989. cute model Samantha Fox 1984. Stunning model Natalie Banas, street photo shoot 1989. The Mississippi River circa 1908. Steamboat landing and Union Station at St. Paul, Minnesota. July 13, 1964. San Francisco. Republican National Convention. Governor Mark Hatfield of Oregon delivering keynote address at Cow Palace. July 12, 1964. Ku Klux Klan members supporting Barry Goldwater's campaign for the presidential nomination at the Republican National Convention, San Francisco, California, as an African American man pushes signs back. March 28, 1938. Telegraphic protests against merger bill flood U.S. Senate. Extra messengers were needed today to deliver the thousands of telegrams protesting against the government reorganization bill. Circa 1928. Mrs. Ellis's store, Falmouth, Stafford County, Virginia. May 1st, 1959. Downtown San Francisco, California Street, East Bay Vista from Nob Hill. New York, 1914. Charlie White. Chicago lightweight born 1892 in Liverpool. Retired from the ring in 1925. New York circa 1908. Broadway at Times Square Hotel Astor and Astor Theater. San Francisco circa 1924. Donnelly Cadillac Agency NE Corner Van Ness O'Farrell. Looking up Fremont Street in Las Vegas from South 2nd toward the Fremont Casino Carnival Room around Christmas 1958. A 1960 parade welcoming Republican vice presidential candidate Henry Cabot Lodge Jr. to Danville, Illinois. New York circa 1913. Park Avenue and Vanderbilt Hotel, south from 36th Street. Detroit circa 1901. Groove Ferry Excursion Steamer Pleasure at Belle Isle Ferry Dock, Woodward Avenue. Greene County, New York, circa 1902. Palinville Hotel, Catskill Mountains. Buffalo, New York, circa 1900. Tift House, Main Street. Demolished 1902. Washington, D.C., 1920. Tidal Basin Bathing Beach, Tom Miller, 1912, Irving Street Northeast. New York, circa 1922. Paul Specht Band. Circa 1907. North Adams, Massachusetts. Main Street, looking west. San Francisco, 1931. Auburn at Golden Gate Park. November 1942. Babies Hospital, New York. Nurse training. At the ping pong table in the game room, Susan Petty, student nurse, enjoys a bit of relaxation after a busy day's work in the wards. Union Square, San Francisco, looking north of Powell Street, circa 1958. I believe my parents were in America at the time. July 1943. Washington, D.C. Waiting for the parade to recruit civilian defense volunteers. Entertaining themselves with the handheld device known as a newspaper. New York, circa 1922. Paul Specht Orchestra, Hotel Astor Roof Garden. March 14, 1925. New York. Isabella Fosta, soprano. San Francisco. Dort Touring Car, 1921. October 1922. New York. Cop is all it says on this glass negative depicting. A photo of the beautiful Rosa Domail 1964. Washington, D.C., circa 1921. National Benefit Life Insurance, Interior. July 12, 1922. New York. The soprano and vocal coach Estelle Liebling, instructor of Beverly Sills and a young Meryl Streep. May 1943. San Francisco, California. The Bank of America. (1952) Pine Street at Montgomery, San Francisco. From circa 1924 San Francisco comes this modishly draped mist descending from her sedan. San Francisco, 1952. Fairmont and Mark Hopkins Hotels. New Haven, Connecticut, circa 1902. Banquet in Alumni Hall, University Commons, Yale College. Hampton Roads, Virginia, circa 1895. Hygeia Hotel, Old Point Comfort. July 1943. Washington, D.C. Spectators at the parade to recruit civilian defense volunteers. July 1943. Washington, D.C. A man selling flags and buttons at the parade to recruit civilian defense volunteers. February 1943. Daytona Beach, Florida. Street scene. Howard's Chicken Shack. We're going to phone 9363 and see if they can deliver to 2023. July 1943. Washington, D.C. Spectators at Office of Civilian Defense parade to recruit civilian defense volunteers. February 1943. Daytona Beach, Florida. Sunday morning street scene in Midway. McGill's Fish Market and Fan Lunchroom, Pine Street and 2nd Avenue. June 23, 1964. Ford Showroom in Wheaton, Maryland. Boston circa 1890s. Jamaica Pond Ice Company delivery wagon. San Francisco, 1925. Buick touring car from rear. The Jersey Shore circa 1901. The beach at Asbury Park. July 1959. Detroit's 1960 look. Sneak preview of the new models. Oakland, California, circa 1918. Orchard Tractor Demonstration Fagel Motors Company Walking Tractor. Delaware County, New York, circa 1902. Ulster, Delaware RR Station, Fleischmann's, Catskill Mountains. Bonus photo for you, a beautiful retro woman. Charming Maria Whitaker, 1988 photo shoot.